She was the only one left breathing, buried beneath alien steel and ash, her blue skin burned, her white hair tangled with blood. When the human recovery team pulled her from the rubble, they thought they'd saved her. But inside her, buried in her spine, fused into her nervous system, was a failsafe. If she ever felt joy, comfort, or even hope, she would detonate. The ones who tortured her made sure she'd never be free. But one human refused to accept that fate. And he didn't come to save her by keeping her numb. He came to give her a reason to fight for her own soul. She was found beneath the broken hull of a crashed vessel, alone, silent, and wrapped in the remnants of what used to be her crew. Her blue skin was blistered and burned, her long white hair tangled in the exposed metal of the ship's skeletal remains. Around her, the fires had long since died, but the wreckage still steamed, still bled out the last remnants of a battle long lost. The human rescue team didn't expect to find anyone alive. But then she opened her eyes. They were pale silver, wide with shock but still focused, still alive. They pulled her from the debris gently, wrapping her in thermal blankets, speaking softly, unsure if she could understand. She didn't resist. She didn't speak. But she didn't cry either. And that was the first warning. They brought her to the medical deck of the human fleet carrier Dauntless. She sat still during every scan, eyes empty, posture unnervingly calm. She barely flinched when they removed the shrapnel from her leg. But when the medbot tried to administer a mild relaxant, the lights flickered. The vitals on her monitor spiked erratically, then dropped to flatline. But she didn't die. She just stopped responding entirely. That's when they discovered it. Buried deep within her spine, woven into the organic nerves and the crystalline strands unique to her species, was a device. Not just a bomb, a reactive trigger system, synced to her neurological patterns, waiting for a specific chemical signal to reach her brain. Not rage, not fear, but joy, laughter, peace, love, anything that meant hope. They'd rigged her like a trap. If she ever truly felt safe again, she would explode. She had been turned into a living deterrent. A message, a final insult by whatever enemy had destroyed her world. Commander Elias Rain was the first one who didn't just see her as a threat. He sat across from her in the secured medbay for 3 straight hours the day they discovered the device. He didn't speak at first, just studied her. She watched him too, head tilted slightly, like she was waiting for him to flinch. When he finally did speak, it wasn't a question. They were afraid of you. Her long ears twitched. She blinked once. They didn't make you into a bomb because you were weak. They did it because they knew what you'd become if someone just gave you the chance to feel alive. Her lips parted. The first sound that came out wasn't a word, but a dry, hoarse breath, something close to a sob, buried and broken before it could form. "They called you Mira, right?" he asked. She nodded barely. "All right then, Mira. I'm not going to fix you. I'm going to free you." From that moment forward, Elias never treated her like a patient or a prisoner. He read reports to her, told her about Earth, rivers, oceans, snowfall. She listened in silence, always seated, always watching. He brought her small things, glow orbs from other systems, old relics, drawings from his niece. Her expression never changed. But her eyes started to soften. The tech division worked around the clock trying to map the bomb. No one could remove it safely. It was interlaced with her nerves in a way that made surgery impossible. Anything too invasive might trigger it. And more terrifying, the AI that controlled the device was learning, adapting, reading her. The more she began to recover, the more unstable it became. Then came the moment that broke the silence. Elias brought her to the observation deck during a meteor drift. The stars were sharp and close, and the meteors painted fire trails across the dark like ancient spirits. She stood by the glass, arms crossed gently over her chest. Her fitted medical tunic barely hid the glow of her spine. "I used to watch storms when I was a kid," he said beside her. "Scared me at first. All that noise. But then I started to like it, like the sky was just screaming to let go." She turned to him. Her voice, quiet, melodic, cut through the silence like it had waited centuries. "You like chaos?" He blinked, smiled. "No, I like what comes after. The calm, the breath, the laugh." Her head tilted. "I don't remember laughing." "We'll fix that." She looked back out the window, and then something small, a twitch at the corner of her lips, the beginnings of a smile. Alarms blared. Her vitals spiked. The device triggered phase 1. They rushed her to containment. The AI had detected joy. Just a fragment of it, and it nearly killed everyone on that floor. After that, Mira stayed away. She refused to speak, refused to look at anyone. Elias went to her room, sat outside her door for 6 hours. When she opened it, he didn't speak. He just placed a small music chip in her hand. It's not about fixing you. It's about making you strong enough to feel it anyway, even if it hurts. She took it, listened that night. Soft human music, like whispers wrapped in starlight. She didn't smile, but she didn't shut it off either. 3 days later, the tech team made a breakthrough. There was no way to remove the device. But there was one thing they could do: overwrite it. Not destroy the bomb, but rewrite its trigger. It would take something stronger than joy, stronger than peace. It would take rage. Elias didn't hesitate. Then let her feel it. He showed her recordings. What was done to her people. How they were hunted. How they died. She didn't look away. When it was over, she stood up, walked to the chamber, connected herself to the override system. "Let me remember," she whispered. "Let me feel it. Then let me burn." The transition nearly killed her. But when she woke, her eyes were glowing. The trigger had changed. Joy would no longer destroy her. But now, if she ever held back her fury, then it would detonate. And she never held back again. From that day forward, she fought with Elias, led with him, saved others like her. She laughed, cried, danced in zero gravity. And every time she smiled, the stars burned a little brighter, because she had earned every flicker of it, and nothing could take it away again.